I want to play a game.
They're here.
Here's Johnny.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho.
And when you're down here with me, you float down!
Like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey,
That was
everybody.
dope, Franco.
That was really
sorry.
nice. No, that was really cool.
How about introducing the bag on Nick H?
Yes, that's my favorite part of that entire video. I haven't seen a Freddy Krueger better than Robert Englund until Nick H.
Sorry,
Thank you,
I disrupted y'all's intro. I just wanted to give a round of applause to
Hey,
Franco.
round of applause to Franco.
that was nice. That was nice. That was
That
nice.
was
Don't clap for
That's
me.
best,
Don't
pro-
man. We're
producer.
rejoicing in how good you are.
Producer. He gave my start in acting.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Franco, because of you, I got in some cardio for that entire trailer. So thank you. Means the world to me. Yeah.
Those were not stunt people. Those are real. It was real stunts by him.
Nobody actually knows that Mr. Fuentes was actually running away from me.
I was. It was It's actually a funny skit, but anyway, sorry.
Nah, yours are good, man. Hey, y'all! Welcome back to the Friday the 14th podcast. I am 1/4 of your host, Matty Fresh.
2/4 of the host, the Mosewa one, Franco.
3/4 of your host, Mr. Fuentes.
And I am 4/4 of the host, the bad guy Nick H. They just silent.
Woo! Love that. So today we're back with another podcast. For those of y'all who are joining us live, it means the world to us. Today we're going to be covering 2007's film Dead Silence, directed by James Wan, written by Leigh Whannell and James Wan himself. This movie has, I guess, some nostalgia to it, and that's why I chose it for the podcast. Anything with dummies for some reason I like. Ever since I saw Slappy on Goosebumps, so ever since then, like anything dummy related or puppet related, I'm definitely sitting through.
Anytime
Even
I hear
the-
Goosebumps, I think about that picture of like Goose taking like cocaine bumps. It's Goosebumps.
If you like movies with dummies in it, you must really like
I've never
every
pictured,
skit Nick's been in.
never pictured Goose or Geese taking bumps of coke, but thank you. That
Dun
definitely.
dun 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 dun.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'll send you the meme. I'll send you the meme that I found later. It's pretty
Please,
hilarious.
please. Yes, thank you. I'm so sorry, guys. My bad. That was really funny. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna jump into the synopsis. The synopsis today is provided by IMDb. Go there for all your latest and greatest in TV and movie news, especially when you can't find that one actor or actress in a film, and it's at the tip of your tongue. IMDb has you covered. So here we go.
Not
A
sponsored.
young widower returns to his hometown to search for answers to his wife's murder, which may be linked to the ghost of a murdered ventriloquist. Yeah. Oh man. So some of the people in this movie, you're not gonna know. Okay? It's a cast, but it's not a. I'm sorry. The only person y'all might know is. Well, let me just read. I'm gonna read the names and I'll get to it. So Ryan Quanten. See, I can't even say that. Ryan Quanten, Amber Valletta, and Donnie Wahlberg. Now, guys, Donnie Wahlberg is not Mark Wahlberg. He's the brother of Mark Wahlberg, but it was in New Kids on the Block. So if you're fans of New Kids on the Block, you get Donnie Wahlberg, my favorite character who constantly shaves his face for no reason whatsoever in this entire film. Just continues to shave it, carries the clipper. But what's it called? Yeah, Donnie Wahlberg's also on the, what is it, Blue Bloods? That's his like TV show on, I think, CBS. It's been running for years now, where he's a cop.
He looked like he would have been on Sons of Anarchy.
That's don't underestimate Donnie. All right, don't ever underestimate Donnie. But you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into what I rated this film, and then all of us, if you want to say what our ratings were, how we thought we could break into it later on, more in depth, but just kind of what you gave it. To me, I give this film just a solid 3. That's my.
I gave this film a solid 3 because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because of what?
Nostalgia.
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 Yeah, nostalgia had a gun to my head and told me to give it a 3.
Nostalgia.
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 He had to talk with himself and said, "Give it a 3." I like
Yeah.
that.
Honestly,
Talk to the man in the mirror.
I'm just gonna go follow y'all's lead, just because I did enjoy the movie. I don't have any feelings really bad about it or good about it. It was a pretty solid 3. So yeah, I agree with y'all.
Nick H, the ball's in your court now.
The ball is my court. As a movie overall, it's a 3, but just because of the comedic stuff in it, I'm gonna give it a 0.5 extra, so 3.5 much at this.
Okay. All right,
Oh,
Nick H.
machetes.
So those are our ratings, guys, which we will break into later on in the podcast.
Any trails?
But before we jump into that, here's for those of you who have never seen 2007's film. I'm gonna say 2007 as a person because that was a year, homie. Last week we covered 1408, which was also made in 2007. So we're in the year 2007 right now, guys.
Halloween from Zombie was 2007.
2007 was a year. Right now we wouldn't even be able to have this conversation because this kind of stuff didn't exist. Like podcasts weren't big at the time.
No.
None of this was a thing. But Dead Silence, if y'all haven't seen it, for those of y'all know who James Wan is. He's directed a variety of films, from The Conjuring to the Insidious franchise. Leigh Whannell, which is really funny. Leigh Whannell, I hear his name a lot. He was actually in Saw. He plays Specs on the Insidious films. And then, here's what I found out that I didn't know. Leigh Whannell directed Upgrade, which is one of my favorite movies. It's like a hidden gem to me. I didn't know he directed that movie, so I have so much more respect for him than I previously had already. But yeah, guys, if y'all haven't seen this movie, go watch it now because we're heading into the spoiler zone where we're just going to talk about this movie freely. And if that bothers you, then I don't know what to say. It's 2020. This movie was made in 2007. Unless you weren't born at the time.
Straight up.
And I don't want to hear your complaints.
I was born in the year 2010. With a beard like that, I don't think so.
Born in 2008 is like, damn it. Gets off. But yeah, okay, guys. Okay, so now that y'all had that spoiler warning, I'm going to jump into it in 3, 2. I know you.
Wait!
What's up?
Just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. What's it called? All right. So let's go ahead and just jump into talking about our favorite scene in this movie. Did any of y'all have like a? Well, before I say like our favorite scene, was there anything that like y'all wanted to talk about as far as the movie goes? Like maybe something that stuck out to you, or something that a character did.
That's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about too. Is like when we do our shows, we do like favorite scenes and sometimes least favorite scenes.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the opportunity for also to talk about what we liked about the movie and what we didn't like about the movie.
Yes.
Like we don't really get into that as much, and I was like, oh, you know, we do that favorite scene and least favorite scene, but we should really talk about like what we did like about it and what we didn't like about it.
Yes.
I mean, I have a favorite scene, but I don't know if it'll be everyone else's favorite scene. So I don't want to take y'all's favorite scenes, guys.
No, man.
So considering
don't do it.
So my favorite scene is the banter between the doll and Mary Shaw on stage whenever like the kid's kind of going back in time, and he's kind of going through that, and then basically it just ends that little thing with "Who's the dummy now?" when he tells that little kid. Yes. That whole little part was like pretty cool. I don't know. I guess if I were to talk about like what I liked about the movie, one of the things I thought was really cool was in the like beginning after the murder of the woman when they go to the town. I forget the town name. Starts with an R. Don't really remember. But when they go into the town, like they go into like the sign of the town, and then they like zoom in, and then it's like artwork, and like the car's still driving in the artwork, and then it zooms in and turns into like real life again. I was like, dude, that was really cool.
That's a good transition.
Yeah, it was really good transition. I was like, oh. I'm trying to think of like other things that I thought was really cool. I can't think of anything at the moment. Maybe I will whenever y'all tell y'all's favorite scenes.
This is aside from a favorite scene, but I did enjoy the soundtrack. Like the beginning has like this really cool tune playing, and it reoccurs throughout the film. But I also really enjoyed the fact that this movie has a poem, and I thought that was really cool. Like the fact that there's a poem to this film. About the ventriloquist Mary Shaw, who is in no relation to Deckard Shaw or the Shaw brothers from the Fast franchise.
I'm pretty sure that was the mom.
There's no
in the movie.
Helen Mirren is the mom of Jason Statham and Luke Evans, and the sister. Okay, but Mary Shaw, no relation, or maybe there is. We don't know. At this point in the Fast franchise, you don't know what you're gonna get. We may get it.
They're gonna announce it later. It's part of the Fast franchise.
Yeah.
James Wan did direct Fast 7.
Yes.
You never know what James Wan this guy.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the one where Deckard Shaw comes in for the first time?
When he comes back.
When he comes back, when he returns.
Oh my!
Wow.
It all connects now, guys.
It makes sense.
Also, just so I know, that's my favorite director. If anybody gets their hands on that James Wan pop, let me know.
James Wan? Okay, man. If I find
well, you're shit out of luck, man.
I know it's like $300. Fuck that.
$300? You got that, Manny?
I can rob a bank.
That stimulus check coming up soon.
I know a few robs.
The stimulus checks that we're supposed to be getting, the sequel to those checks. if one falls into our laps, then $300 would be easy to spend.
So it's a good birthday present for y'all to combine y'all's money. $100
I don't
each.
even want the PS5 anymore. I just want to make sure Franco has the James Wan pop.
What a sacrifice about to make, man.
I want to make sure Franco gets the.
We gotta make a wish foundation.
We can all pitch in for a new podcast, little studio thing, or just buy Franco this pop.
Buy me the pop. I need that more.
I'm not sure which one I should invest in.
I think you should invest in the James Wan pop. I feel like if it keeps Franco alive and happy, then we're good.
See, the podcast is just gonna end, and it's just gonna have that pop to treasure it for every day going forward. It's like, man, that podcast is pretty good, but this pop means so much more that it came from all of them.
Wow, that makes sense.
That was beautiful, Nick. So the poem goes.
It's like, screw y'all.
Beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. And if you see her in your dreams, make sure you never, ever scream. Okay, the movie ends on him saying, "You never, ever scream," right? And in most of the movie, like Donnie Wahlberg cuts it off at one point, and he's like, "Oh, what? She pulls your tongue out," right? But the weird thing is, growing up, I remember the full poem, and I'm like, why didn't I hear the full poem in the movie? But it could have been in the trailers that maybe the full poem was played, and then the movie. Because I remember after it says, "Make sure you never ever scream," it says, "Or she'll rip your tongue out at the seam." I remember that, like that's, and I didn't hear it in the movie. But it even continues, which I didn't know, and then it says, "And if you see her, remember this. The only thing that can stop her is shh." So, I just want to point out a few things about this film, though. Donnie Wahlberg, did you injure yourself shaving that many times? Because I feel like you get a shave rash after a while, and that man was always like, even with the doll, he's like, "Well, you're more clean shaven than I am," and I'm like, who carries, even in 2007, who carries that portable clip? I didn't understand that.
Just ruining any evidence he could ever gather by just his small hair follicles falling all over everything. Just crime scene, yeah.
You know know what really gets like another scene that I want to like just point out before I say my favorite scene is the whole idea of not screaming when you see her, right? When the dude falls at one point, the main character, homie's about to scream while he's falling, you know, in midair, and he puts his hand over his mouth and just like lands hardcore on his back. I'm like, dude, that took everything. Like to hush yourself instead of screaming because you don't know where you're gonna land. He could have just. What if he just died? Like died from the fall.
That was the scene where he fell in the water, right?
That's it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
So,
you know, it's kind of like Final Destination. Like if like death doesn't want you to kill yourself, or like it wants to be the one to take your life away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's it called?
Just reference.
But I would say for this film, my favorite scene, there's one of two. One of my favorite scenes that I really enjoyed was when all the puppets start turning their heads. Each one that Mary Shaw starts to jump into each one. I just thought that was really cool. Even there's a scene where Jamie's driving to go bury the Mary Shaw's puppet. I forget his Billy, right? He's going to bury Billy, and the way they caught like the trees passing by the car, it was just the shadow, and you slowly see Billy's eyes turning to look at Jamie. I thought that was done so perfect. I just like that scene. I thought that was really cool. But one of the scenes I like the most is when Donnie Wahlberg falls to his death, and he's like, ah, and he like falls into the curtains, and he comes out and his jaw's completely gone, his tongue's gone. That rattled me. To me, that's just a very fun scene because the guy who, and then his thing falls. His little shaver.
and it turns on too. It's like bzzz.
They should have credited the shaver in this movie because it played a big role. It did play a big part. But what's it called?
Donnie's shaver, Remington. You know.
Yeah, Donnie's Remington shaver.
It won an Oscar award. What are we talking about?
Yeah. And then I love the way like the first time we see Donnie Wahlberg in this film, he's eating a donut, which just like adds to like the persona of all cops eat donuts. He's just like chilling, like before he goes to interrogate Jenny. But yeah, so that was one of my favorite. What you pointed out, the whole scene with Billy and Mary, that was really cool. I did love the flashbacks that the I want to say caretaker, but what do you call the people that prepare the body? The
mortician.
Mortician. Yeah, I do like Henry. Yeah, like all of his flashbacks are really cool, and the whole banter between Billy and Mary Shaw, it's just so perfectly done. You know, up into the point where the kid goes, her lips are moving. You know, that was just, and there's just the eeriness and the silence of her staring. You know, so definitely, yeah, those are some of my favorite scenes in the film.
Lips are moving like Meghan Trainor.
Is she what?
Like Meghan Trainor. Your lips are moving.
Oh, yeah. You took us back to 2014.
I want to take you back 7 years before that, though. I don't know. I'm too late. 7 years after.
Damn, that boy.
I didn't have a favorite scene, but the one where he fell was pretty good. But my favorite actor in the whole movie was Donnie, and the fact that in every horror movie pretty much he's in, he plays in detective. He was in Saw 2, 3, 4, and 5, I think, and he was a detective. He wasn't a bad detective. He was a good detective. His son gets taken in part 2 by the detective.
Damn, we're connecting Saw with Dead Silence and now Liam Neeson and Taken, man.
Well, it's the same
Fast series, man.
James Wan actually directed and co-wrote Saw, the original Saw. And he was a co-writer. No, he was a producer on Saw 2, 3, and 4, I think. But yeah, that's why he's my favorite director.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought you were going to say Kenny Ortega is your favorite director.
Aquaman.
I don't know what that is.
So Manny's more of like the movie buff guy. What is the role of a producer? Like I never really understood or grasped that.
Producers
It's my
go
role.
two ways.
Why don't you ask Franco? He's the producer.
Well, to be honest with you, no, like seriously, growing up, I would be like, oh, this movie's gonna be good because it's produced by so and so, right? And that's the way they get you in trailers, like produced by the guys that brought you Deadpool 1 and 2, right? And you're like, oh, that's so good. Sometimes producers, all they do is pitch in money. That's how the movie's produced. Like it's like I gave money to make this movie happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's not so much that the movie's gonna be great. You know what I mean? It's just that hey, I had enough faith in it to give my money. So that should be a push for y'all to be like, oh, if James Wan. But sometimes producers have a lot more than just pushing money. They also have a say-so in the film, how they want it to go before they back it. You know what I mean? Kind of like Shark Tank. Are you in or out? Are we gonna give you my money to produce this treasure of a film, or is it going to be crap of a film, in or out? So I think for James Wan, I feel like a lot of the things that he's produced, you can feel that he definitely had more of a role than just pitching in money. Like when it's produced by James Wan, you know that okay, there's a hint of James Wan in this. So he didn't just give money. Oh Lord. I just saw what he produced, and
Thanksgiving.
No, he produced the movie Lights Out at all, and he produced
Lights
that
Out.
film.
Oh no, Lights Out! I was trying to rewatch it the other day.
I did not like that film at all.
The short film that's based off of was great.
Yes, the movie.
But the movie sucked.
No, and I already know eventually someone's gonna be like, "We should review Lights Out." And then I'm gonna be like, all right, I will gladly sit through that film again. But so that's the role that producers tend to play. Fuentes.
So your whole description of a producer is pretty much what Franco is, right? I mean, Franco put money into the whole podcasting.
Yep. He brought us together.
That's all I do.
Franco's our sugar daddy.
He's our Scooter Braun. He's our Simon Cowell. He's our sexy nugget.
Just so everybody knows, this is a Franco Appreciation podcast episode.
Yes, actually, we're going to
that was on the notes.
Film and talk about all the things.
That was on the notes. Where's the notes at? Who wrote this script for this one?
It's our favorite scenes with Franco in our lives.
This one time we all went bowling before Franco moved to Louisiana.
Oh yeah.
Scenes.
Yeah. I almost died that day.
Fun.
That appeared on the TikTok, didn't it?
It actually did, yeah. That appeared on TikTok.
That appeared on a TikTok? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
The story sounds very familiar.
It was released on TikTok.
Cheers to the open, we're here, but we're not, because the drinks bring back all the memories. Yeah. I remember I cried to that whenever Franco and Tiff left. I cried like a baby.
I cried too whenever I left. I was like, how dare you leave me all my life?
It was sad when we all played bowling, and that was it. That was the last time. And since then, Franco has been socially distanced from all of us. Every single one of us. So
we're supposed to be gutter boys for life.
Oh no, because I saw y'all that one time. Well, I went back in March. We had a game night.
Oh, yeah, you weren't there.
I don't think Manny made it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thanks for reminding him. Don't be a dick about it.
No, that was right after my accident. That was right after my accident. I remember he invited me, but I was like a stressed little nugget.
All you had to do was change your pants, bro.
No, I was like, I just lost my damn. I just lost my damn car.
You got too excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that type of accident. I was stressed. I was like, oh no, they're gonna see it. They're gonna see the accident all over my pants. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, man. Next time you come back, I'm definitely gonna see you no matter what.
You started playing Stressed Out in the background. But we
go back. We go back
to the good old days. When Frank
I was stressed out.
Damn, one more time.
And I was stressed out.
Damn. Okay, we're actually 21 Pilots now, guys. Look. Then I take off my mask and I'm really Tyler Joseph.
You didn't know there was 4 members.
We need 17 more members to be complete.
17 more members to be complete?
Yeah. Come on, Pilots.
What was I gonna say? Wait, who hasn't said their favorite scene?
I haven't said shit yet.
Okay,
When Franco just said that he liked the character, which it's rare that we agree on the full on anything, but that's one of my favorite things about the movie is that there was that whole favorite character at least. But the scenes I had together, it was like in different categories. I don't know. It was just weird.
Take notes?
Did you take notes?
It's your first time taking notes on a movie?
I didn't take notes.
Oh, I thought you were looking down like you took notes. It's like, wow, impressive.
Should I take notes? Nah, but just a cheap throw-in right away would be the Easter egg, the cameo of Billy the Puppet from Saw.
Oh wow!
It comes on like almost all of James Wan's movies.
Yeah, and Insidious.
Wait, where was the puppet? Where was
like towards the ending and the attic area? Was it considered attic?
You for real?
It was like when all the dolls start looking.
Yeah.
He reveals all the dolls,
and it pans out, and it's like real dark, so you have to really pay attention to it. And you see Billy the Puppet just like leaning back against like a pole or whatever it was.
That's pretty sick, dude. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to revisit. Yeah. That's dope. So that was one of them, right? You said you had another one.
That was just a cheap throw in, but there was pretty much the one Fuentes initially said, but that went into like I guess storytelling because I like when they do flashbacks and things. He's showing the
bigger.
Oh shit! Dope.
Franco, you didn't make your screen the biggest thing so I can see it.
Oh, my bad.
The biggest screen.
So you enjoyed the what's it called the most? The Billy and
oh, there we go.
And Mary Shaw.
Nice. Nice.
As far as just like I like the whole like flashback storytelling wise, that's pretty cool. And I like the way they did the transition, like the old footage style, like how it just transitions, like telling you like it's the old times, whatever.
Yeah, this one got a lot of good transitions. I don't know, just throwing that out there.
And this as far like the visual parts that I do like was when Henry was in the basement area, whatever. Is it like underground where his sister or his wife was hiding? And he came across Mary Shaw. That was like one of the cool things I enjoyed. And also when he's a kid, and then Mary Shaw's body disposes of him. Her dead body, like puppet.
Yes.
Puppet
yes.
dead body.
Oh man. Here's the thing that kind of like what you just brought up was that Mary Shaw's whole point in this film was to kill everybody in the Ashton family because it was the great uncle that made fun of her, right? And that's why she went after everybody in the Ashton family. And he's like, well, why'd you kill my wife? And she goes, well, she was pregnant. So I had to kill her off to kill the baby, right? And so you're like, oh, okay, so then you only killed the wife because she had a baby, right? Other than that, you would have left her alone because you're only going after the Ashtons, right? My thing here is, poor Henry. This chick went after Henry and killed Mary Shaw went and killed Henry in that scene. And I was like, he's not an Ashton. He dropped her body by accident. He was a curious kid. You know? Man, that's really sad. I'm really mad now that you pointed that out. It just hit me. That's a really great scene, but still, I'm pissed off that she killed Henry because he was such a kind-hearted old man. He didn't deserve his death. Okay.
Well, you should know she's already straight up savage since she got all butthurt and salty about that remark. Oh, your lips are moving, and then she goes inside, decides to kill that kid.
Yeah, and
the great uncle.
Him a puppet. She makes him into a puppet. Yeah, I was like, damn, girl, can't take a critic or a heckler. I mean, what if Mr. Fuentes killed everybody who said things at his concerts? The song was all right, and then he just goes and kills whoever said that.
It's all right. A half-ass compliment.
Yeah, the set's okay, right? He kills like whoever. Yeah.
Usually, when I meet people, that's whenever they give me bad like comments, it's the first and last time they ever do that. So yeah.
All right, guys, it's been fun podcasting with y'all. Don't want any relation to this.
This is why he does not do meet and greets.
Why he wears masks.
Yeah. Yeah, no meet and greets with Fuentes.
No meet and greets.
But you also pointed out that Billy the puppet's inside that scene, and James Wan, you said he does that throughout his films. In Aquaman, Annabelle's in Aquaman.
Annabelle's not.
So I thought that was crazy, like to like push it further. You know what I mean? To where,
it's like living his dick print all over the places.
Yeah, it's like James Wan was here.
James Wan was here.
Yeah.
So we get it. You directed it.
I get it, James Wan. Your name's all over the cover of the movie poster. What's it called? So we went over our favorite scenes. We got to go on to our least favorite scenes or any plot holes that we saw in the film.
All right, you ready?
I saw a whole bunch of holes whenever they're digging to get the puppets
over
out.
100. Over 100 holes.
101 demolitions.
101 down. Oh wow. Fuentes, you were gonna say you got.
I was like, are you all ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there were some scenes with the main actor Ryan that I felt like his just acting was so bad to me. Like I understand like it's a horror movie-ish thing, but I felt like some of the responses to some of the things were like either underplayed or overplayed. But they were never like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I just didn't feel it with him. Honestly, I'm going to agree with y'all. Donnie Wahlberg, he was just spot on. That character, he was that character like the entire time. So it was really cool.
Still my heart.
I don't know if I agree with the ending of the movie. Like the way it kind of all transpired, like it made sense. And this is the entire time from the beginning of watching this movie. I was telling my girlfriend, like, I bet that guy's dead and she's using him like a puppet. Like somehow that chick's involved. Maybe that's like a great granddaughter of Mary Shaw or something, like trying to continue her legacy or whatever. And then in the end, it kind of like turned out to be Mary Shaw, which I found to be weird. Like, I felt like you could have done that better, like somehow, or maybe even like what I was just saying, like the twist, like they were playing it off the whole time that basically she was somehow connected to this whole thing. But it was just, I don't know, it was really, really odd to me that the ending, how it ended was that way. And then, like, my girlfriend pointed this out. This isn't a thought that I originally had, but she was like, I don't get it. Like the whole movie, he doesn't scream, and then what? He finds out his dad dies. He sees this lady, and then he decides he's gonna scream at the end. Like it almost sounded like he just gave up. Like, oh well, you got me. You killed my dad. You killed all these people. You cornered me into a corner. I'm tired of not screaming. I'm just gonna scream. Yeah, like you got me. Fine, you got me. It was just kind of, it was a weak ending. I didn't like it. It was a weak ending altogether. And then there's one scene. So apart from all the good panning and transitions in the movie, the part wherever he finishes burying Billy and then he goes back to his car and he's inside his car and he keeps seeing like shadows like go around the car and stuff like that. The panning is so weird. Like all of a sudden it's like zoom in, zoom out, go forward, go this way, go that way, go. It looked like someone took a hold of the camera joystick and was just like, oh, I'm just gonna move this shit around. It was so odd to me. And like I get it. I mean, it's kind of horror movie-ish to kind of do super zooms real fast, pull outs and things like that. But I just think it was poorly done. I didn't like it. It was really odd to me, especially since it had really good transitions throughout the rest of the movie. That would be the only one that's just like, we're gonna do something crazy, and then and then just like let's zoom out, zoom back, and it's just a bunch of dumb stuff. And then I don't know, like the whole Billy, like in it, obviously he could be hallucinating for the most part, but Billy obviously peeked through the window of the car at that same scene, and then Donnie comes back and is like, I dug up the doll you just buried, and he's like, then how the hell did it peek its way through the car? Like, did it escape you and run back to your car when it was done? Like, how did these things happen? And Yeah, it was just a lot of weird things. I don't know. It was almost too like the same exact crap that I was saying. Like to move the scene forward in the movie, it's like, where would you find the clues? Like his wife gets murdered. He goes back to his house. I'm gonna look for clues. Let me look inside this case. Oh look, there's a small hole. Let me rip this hole open and see Mary Shaw at this place. Let's go travel to said place. And it just like everything just kept falling into place so easily, and it was just I don't know. It's a weird thing. And then it turns out what his family's from that area. So whenever he found out that city and started driving to it, he didn't make it seem like, oh, my old hometown or where my family lives. He was just like, let's go to this strange city. Oh wait, my parents live here too, or my dad because his mom left or whatever. I don't know. I just felt like the way the beginning kind of just shifted forward was really quickly. And then, like, by 30 minutes in, it almost seemed like it was the end of the movie. And then it just kind of transpired, from there. It was really weird. I don't know. It was like almost a rush beginning to a long ending. I don't know. That's my only gripe. Besides that, it was enjoyable. Like, I did like the movie, but those are my gripes.
I'm going to reverse this real quick because you reminded me on my favorite part was the ending as well, because simply because the way it was, whenever you reveal that the stepmom was Mary Shaw and all that stuff, the way it was like Saw, the ending of Saw, how it always, transitions and everything, and like music and all that to like reveal the big twist. It reminded me of Saw, which is understandable because James Wan. But that was my favorite part.
That was a cool ending transition.
I liked it, but then I didn't like it because I already seen it in Saw.
Yeah, and I didn't know all the Saw movies after that.
It was a love-hate moment. I want to kind of go back and say what the ending, because the ending it's weird. You see Mary Shaw whenever they burn the puppets, whatever, and you see that would be like it was an easy win in a sense. Like how she disappears all fast, like nah, there's definitely something towards the end, obviously, but my whole thing was that what's that guy's name again? The main character,
Ryan. I mean, Jamie.
Jamie Ashton.
Yeah, Ryan's his real name. I'm sorry.
Jamie Lee Curtis. No,
yeah.
not Jamie.
Laurie Strode.
I don't know. If it was a scream, it was like way off kind of to me. It seemed more like he was saying no, like the way like Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker was like no, like a reaction type. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And maybe it's just me because I didn't see it like a screaming scream, like a terrified scream. It was more like just like a reaction, like angered.
Yeah. Wait. Oh yeah, at the very end, right?
Yeah. It looked more like it was an angry reaction. It wasn't a scream.
This is not a scream. This is more like
no.
No. Like no.
No.
He just pushes her. No.
I am your father. No. She was his father.
Right?
She was his father.
Jamie, I am your father.
And then she just pulls the stick out from the back where she was moving him like a puppet. Yeah.
We've been like 5 different movies already.
The thing that really got to me as a kid was the fact that the father looked so pale the entire movie. And I remember when I was watching it back in like 2007, I was like, why is he so pale? Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, it was just weird. Just to find out that the whole time homie was dead. She's like, yeah, he had a stroke. You didn't notice? And he's just like, oh, okay, my dad had a stroke. Like, I kind of agree with like what Mr. Fuentes was saying, like the way this storyline kind of went. It's one moment like my wife is dead. Now I gotta head back to my hometown to find out who did this because it had to have been Mary Shaw, And then he just walks into his house. Knocks on his house, and the girl's like, "Oh hi, how's it going? Oh my gosh, excuse my manners. I'm your dad's new hoe. What's it called?" And then he's like, "Oh okay," like, and then he goes in there, and they just like it's just weird. It's like it's distant. Like his father's obviously rich, which they never really explain why they're so wealthy. Bless you, man. They never really explain like why he's so wealthy, but it's just funny how he never questioned it. Like, how bad did he? And then he says, like, at one point when Donnie asks him, "Is there any do you know any of her family?" And he goes, "Oh, I met them once." I'm like, well, what's up with that? Like, why did you only meet your wife's family once? Like, what's going on there? Like, is there like some animosity or hate, toward you from her family? Are y'all not on good terms? So that was like,
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I'll say it after you finish.
Because that was like my thing. Like, some of this stuff was kind of like, it just really like, it didn't explain itself. Like it was like a door open but led nowhere. You get what I'm saying? Like it just some of the stuff that was mentioned. And that's more of a gripe as like a plot hole. Not so much. I don't think there was ever a scene in the movie that I was kind of like, this scene kind of sucks, or I didn't enjoy it. It was just more like there was some writing, and as you said before, the main character too. It always felt like he's just in this movie. He's not acting. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how I felt.
But that's how I felt. There's nothing stands out about it. It just seems like they're like, hey, he's kind of good looking. He's the main lead, and let him just carry. But then Donnie Wahlberg comes in. He's giving like a performance. Like,
he steals the whole damn show.
Donut. I gotta shave every 5 seconds. I got a OCD in shaving. I don't believe any of the crap you're giving me. And you get like a star performance from Donnie Wahlberg, but then the main character is just kind of like, it's like, I guess he signed on to the movie and then just didn't like it, and was like, I guess I'm on contract, So yeah, that was my that was it. But what were you gonna say? I'm sorry, like you had for this.
Now I'm trying to think, but something that I did notice too was that a lot of the lighting, and you mentioned this earlier with the shadow of like whenever they're driving, the shadow keeps like kind of going over Billy's face and stuff. A lot of the lighting in this movie was really cool. Like whenever they're in the motel and the red light keeps blinking, and you just expect Billy to like turn his head inside the rocking chair, and instead they move him to the side of the bed, and he kind of like ends up in front of Jamie's face, but like little things like that I thought was really cool. Okay, so the movie is called Dead Silence, right? And I kind of get the idea. It's like it's a ventriloquist kind of like horror movie in a sense. But like I think also like what the movie tried to whatever word I'm about to use probably isn't the right word, but convey. What the movie tried to convey was like before the murders, like everything got dead silent. So like whenever the murder of like the wife happened, everything got really like she couldn't hear anything anymore. Like the stove whistling went away, the ticking clock, she couldn't hear no more. Like, everything went dead silent. Well, the rest of the movie, stuff like that kind of started happening. Like whenever Jamie was inside the cemetery, he was burying Billy, and everything got like really, really silent. But he could still hear things, right? And then later on in the movie again, like I think whenever they're inside the theater with him and Donnie, stuff gets really dead silent. He says like, "This is how it starts. Like, be on your guard," because like everything got really silent again. But then they could still hear stuff. So it just was really confusing, like the dead silent part of that. Like they only really conveyed it in the very beginning of the movie, but the rest of the movie, like they tried to add it in, but then they could still hear things. And it's like, I thought they couldn't hear things. I thought that was the idea that you gave us in the very beginning of the movie when the wife couldn't hear anything. But now these other ones, everything goes dead silent, but then they can still hear other things going on around. I don't get it. Why did you do that?
They're using active noise canceling headphones or earphones, and then they had it really tight into the ear. Poor quality.
It was just really weird. Like I thought it also like the idea of like dead silence. Like if you're trying to get someone to scream, right, and your power was to make everything silent around a person except for maybe your voice. Just imagining someone creeping up behind you in silence, and then the only thing they can hear is your voice, so you just yell, "Ah!" really loud behind them. They would probably freak out and scream. You know, just giving that dead silent like feel around everything around you. Like, wow, everything's eerily quiet, and then the only thing you hear is your scream. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like if they're trying to use that as a tactic. I just thought it was weird that they just did it in the beginning, and then they didn't really. They tried to add themes a bit throughout the movie, but they didn't really like go through with it. And it's like, why did you even give it to me? And then I don't know. Why did you give it to me and then not do anything else with it the entire rest of the movie?
Give me blue balls, teased you. That's messed
that
up.
That was another kind of gripe, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe someone erased it on the script. Like it was supposed to be like that, but then people started hating the movie and like they erased this. Like the main actor was like, "Fuck this movie," erases it.
What the hell? You just erase what everyone else knowing.
Maybe.
We're behind schedule, man. We gotta rush it.
Also, did y'all notice whenever Donnie was having the puppet inside the motel room, he was oddly good at moving around that puppet's head and eyes and everything while he was talking to Jamie. Because he does that little scene, and then he does it to where he like looks at him and then looks back at the guy, and I was like, wow, that was actually like, is it that easy to move around a puppy? You just figure it out like that?
Yeah,
like,
it kind of gave you a sense of maybe he was behind it or something like that. You think maybe that's what they were trying to?
Maybe I actually didn't think of it. I didn't even think it. I personally didn't think anything that he was behind anything. I just thought he was just supposed to play that dumb cop role where he's just harassing the guy the whole time.
Just use the comic relief.
I think the real question here is who would win in a fight, Rex or Billy?
From Victorious.
Rex
I thought you were gonna say who's gonna win, Billy the Puppet or Billy the Puppet. From Saul. That's
either you say Billy or Slappy.
He got really lazy with the name, and he just called it Billy Puppet.
I would say Slappy. Slappy would win because Slappy throws down. There's that whole fight
Slappy
scene.
throws down.
In I think the second episode where Slappy comes out, he
I
fights.
was gonna say Slappy actually moves around, whereas like Billy never actually moved anything but his eyes. To be honest, he didn't attack no one. He didn't do anything crazy.
Like Annabelle.
He just stood there. Things were happening.
Yeah, Annabelle never does anything either. She's controlled by demons, and she just sits there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the face.
But Slappy's straight up savage.
Slappy would throw down. He don't care.
He'll fight Puppet Mary Shaw.
Franco.
The tongue coming out of the clown's mouth scene was also pretty cool.
That was actually.
Now that I remember that scene.
Gene Simmons.
Can I talk?
I'm listening.
Let the producer talk, right?
I'll mute y'all's mics. My only gripe with the film was the beginning. He got the doll, and then he left to get food. He left his girlfriend or wife there with a weird puppet that he didn't even know about at all. That's just weird to me. That was my only gripe.
Responsible as a husband that he did that?
Yes. Or maybe he really hated her and wanted her to die.
Yeah.
What I also thought was weird.
I hope this puppet takes her out.
Was that like he tells Donnie in the very beginning when he's in the police thing, I think it had something to do with that puppet that was sent to me. But he never locks that thing back up in its cage. He just keeps having it in his backseat right next to him. Like he thinks that this object could possibly be, I'm assuming at this point, haunted or possessed by something. But yet he keeps it very near him at all times. And even like almost eerily, like if you thought you had an enemy, are you going to throw it in the backseat behind you? Like, it was weird. He didn't even put it back in the case, which I was kind of like arguing with my girlfriend. Like the case is kind of his tomb. Like he can't do nothing if he's enclosed into the case. But if you let him out of the case, he can do harm. And you just never put him back in the case, ever. Which I thought was strange.
That was too much work.
I mean, I remember he buries him, and then Donnie takes him out, and then at no point is he like, you know what, dude, buried it for a reason, man. You know, get the puppet back and go bury it again. You get what I'm saying? He's like, don't be trying to bury evidence, you know? And it's like, I don't know, man. He was too comfortable around this puppet because he knew that the puppet didn't have the smoke, bro. It's because he knew that puppet can't throw hands. He wasn't scared of it.
It wasn't slapping.
I'm gonna leave it on this chair in this, you know, dimly lit motel room, you know? I don't care. Because he knew the puppet didn't want the smoke. He wasn't with the smoke. That's what happened.
If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. It is what it is.
It is. He don't care. He said, "My wife's dead. What do I have to live for?"
Huh.
Yeah.
Since this whole movie is pretty much a Donnie runs movie, like everyone just loves Donnie. What was y'all's favorite lines that he said during the whole movie?
I like that he didn't want to arrest him in front of his mom. Like he was like, "Come on, like let me don't do this our way. Let's do this the easy way. I want to do it in front of your mom." Respectful.
I feel like every time he talk, I just say it cracked me up because whenever he's already trying to run off to go meet Henry, he's like, "Oh, don't make me chase you," and then he goes in the car.
I don't even have a full tank of gas.
I had to do gas. It had me cracking up.
Yeah. I just like his character in general. I can't think of like something that really stuck out, but anytime Donnie spoke, I was
laughing.
I was like laughing.
Or when he goes out there before the chase, whatever. He's telling him like, I'm looking for a guy about this height. Like he's talking about the puppet. He usually has a hand up his ass or this. Because I'm looking for the rest of his friends, 101 friends.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
So now that we've discussed our least favorite scenes or plot holes, let's go ahead and head to our segment where we create a slogan that we would have thrown.
Before in there, I want to throw one more last thing.
Talk to us.
Similar thing of the like screaming wise. Donnie's character, he didn't scream because he was like scared of Mary Shaw, whatever. It wasn't that the scare factor into that. He was screaming because that he was falling to his death initially. He's just falling down. So I thought it was a cheap death like that. That was kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, that was
kind of get screwed off.
Wasn't for her. That's
it wasn't for her.
Saw her or anything. That scream was because he was falling to his death. Like
they just want to kill him off because he was like the best thing of that damn movie.
Yeah, you know what? I'm ready to throw hands at Mary. I'm sorry about this. I'm ready to start throwing some hands at Mary Shaw because she's just out here taking people that don't have Ashton as the last name, and she's just out here killing people that didn't deserve to die. So, Mary Shaw, if you got the hands, girl, I'm willing to throw it down.
So you're adding Mary Shaw to the fight list?
I'll fight her. Put her on the fight list. I don't even care. Mary Shaw, I will fight you. All right, I will fight you.
Mary Shaw and all $101.
Bro, it's simple, bro. She throws that tongue at me, I'll wrap it around my forearm and rip it out of her face. And I'll say,
it's been a while since you updated that list, Manny.
You want to be Venom? Don't come at me sideways like that. You ain't taking this tongue, girl. You ain't taking this tongue.
Damn, you take that tongue.
Yeah, I tell her. I say, yeah, that's why you had no children. That's why you had no children. Nobody liked you, ugly ass. You can't take critique. That's your problem. And then she would just be like, you're right. Teach me. And then we just become best friends. And I teach her how to take critique. And then she goes back on the road and goes on America's Got Talent. And then wins that season.
And she tried Dougie.
And then she what?
So then you teach her how to Dougie. Teach her how to Dougie. Nah. All right. Slogans.
God. So, okay, I'm sorry. I got carried away. But yeah, Donnie Wahlberg was screaming because he was dying, not because of Mary Shaw. So that was cheap.
You got backup, man.
It's a long slogan.
Oh, thank you, love. That is so nice. Thank you. We could both take her on. My girlfriend said I will beat her up for
It's a 2-for-1 special.
There you go. They're gonna
2 for 1 special. Make it 3 for 1. They kill my boy Donnie off like that.
Yeah, this is what you get for killing Donnie and Henry. You should have taken Jamie. What's it called?
Pay respects to Henry. I'm gonna quote him because he's like, don't go looking for answers because you might just get them.
Damn.
I was like,
damn.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of sounded weird, but it makes sense.
Shout out to Henry.
Don't be seeking for answers. You might just get them.
Mommy, what's 2 plus 2? Honey, don't go looking for answers or you might get them. I just need to know.
I kind of want the answers, though.
That's the slogan for every parent who's having to teach their kids right now because of social distancing and the way school is. You know, don't go looking for answers. You just might get them.
You just might get them.
Just walk away from your kid.
That's what he wanted.
Shout out to Henry.
Rest in peace.
Next on this thing is create a slogan.
Yes.
What we would have wanted to place on the movie or even the movie poster. I don't know. I think there is a slogan that they have on here.
Yeah, I got it.
Let me pull up the picture larger because I can't read it from right here. But it says, it says dead silence. You scream, you die. That's the slogan.
It's beautiful.
First off, I think all 4 of us come up with something way better than that.
Yeah.
That's worse than 1408's. What was 1408?
You can always look into the Dolphin Hotel.
There's only one room in the Dolphin Hotel you cannot check into. 1408.
So slogan number 1.
All right.
Are we just stalling?
All right, you ready?
Okay. Anybody got one on them right now? A slogan?
All right. Dead silence. Who's the dummy now?
Hey.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah.
Dead silence. Did you shave today?
Obviously not.
Dead silence. There's 2 Billies in this movie.
Shit.
Dead silence.
Dead silence. Dead silence. Sometimes your ancestors' fuck ups can come back to haunt you in the ass.
Yeah. Wait. When it's like dead silence, sometimes you have to pay for the mistakes of the past. Because that was the whole point. Jamie had to pay for what his great uncle did.
This is gonna kind of sound. It's gonna kind of sound like the one I just said, but dead silence. Don't be a dummy.
Dead silence. Don't drop a dead body on the floor.
Dead silence. Don't name your kid Henry.
Henry. Cowbell. It's also Superman. Henry.
What was I gonna say? Just dead silence. Don't fuck with dolls. Just that was the mistake was. Oh man. I don't like that you scream, you die. I don't like that.
No. All right, you ready, guys?
Go.
Dead silence.
That was good. A dead silence.
You had me waiting there. It's like
dead silence. Did you just fart? No. Dead silence. Is this a tax test?
What?
Is this a tax test? It's not a tax.
You can't talk. Be quiet. Yeah.
Just to put it in simple terms, dead silence. Don't heckle, or you're gonna get got.
Damn.
You'll get got.
Gonna get got.
Don't heckle.
Dead silence. She really likes tongues.
She does.
Oh, dead silence. This is one ventriloquist you won't miss.
Dead silence. This is one hand you won't want up your ass.
Very perverted, but yeah, I like it. Silence. Silence your cell phones. It's not a movie.
I just think that the poem itself could have been the slogan for this film.
Yeah, maybe just like the first 2 lines.
Yeah.
Like, what was the poem?
It was like, beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. And if you see her in your dreams, make sure you never ever scream. That could have been the slogan.
Yeah, I think just even the first 2, like, beware the stare of Mary Shaw.
Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls.
And that's pretty much it. Like, that would have been...
Yeah.
Like, that would have been cool.
They really went above and beyond with that one right there.
And then they don't use that as the slogan. Like, who makes these posters? Who makes these slogans? Why isn't it us?
People don't read the synopsis.
I just don't like the fact that people like that are banking on this. Because they're not good. That's not a good thing.
Is that an actual job? Can we sign up for that?
it's all just a producer.
Franco, we got this hit movie. We just need one thing from you: a slogan.
I don't think that's worth my $50. Just get paid like $50 for doing a slogan, and get one little credit towards the end of the credits. The guy who created slogan.
So, are we gonna try to implement Nick's idea of how it should have ended?
That's what we're jumping into.
Oh,
you get it right on the nail.
Jumping ahead of us, man.
You get it right on the nail.
Jumping ahead of us.
No more slogans.
Slogans. This is a new segment, and I don't really want to introduce this segment. I'd rather let Nick introduce it because he is the creator of this. So, Nick, do you want to introduce this and basically describe it to the audience what we're doing for this segment?
Well, we pretty much already heard it from Andy how you would end it, but pretty much. If you don't like the ending and you thought it was shit, this is your opportunity to reinvent it, make it your own. Maybe for watching and listening, you might enjoy that. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it's your time to shine, pretty much.
Are you ready?
Who's going first?
All right.
I think Fuentes is ready because he's ready.
So, Jamie just finds out that his dad has been dead the whole time, right? He's going through that. It's going through that whole scene where he's flipping through the beginning and all that. And he turns around and he sees Mary Shaw, or not Mary Shaw, the wife looking at him. And he knows. He's already made everything, put everything together. He figured out it's Mary Shaw. So he turns around and rips his father's head out with the wooden plastic thing on it. And turns around and knocks her in the face, and she falls into the fire. And then she burns and dies.
The end.
And she screams and rips her own tongue out.
And she screams, so her tongue wraps around her body and swallows her.
Perfect.
And that's
I would take her tongue as a souvenir and jump rope with it. Or I'll pretend like I'm that Pokemon. What was that Pokemon called with the big ass tongue?
Tungula? That's not a word.
Tungula.
Longa tongue? Man, I forgot what the name was.
Tingula? Lickitung?
No, Lickitung. That's what it was. Lickitung.
I don't have a way to end it, but all I know is that Donnie stays alive in my ending. And what's his name?
Shit,
what's the main character? Main character dies.
Main character dies.
It switches character perspective at the point whenever they fall off the bridge. The other guy falls off and screams, and Donnie stays alive instead. And then he goes all the way to Danny's dad's house to try to figure things out. And yeah, it's the whole thing. And then he rips off the head, knocks Mary Shaw into the fire.
Then he rips off the tongue with his shaver.
And I was gonna say, and when he gets done, he shaves his face, and he's like, "Yeah, she got did," because that's how you get got.
Like this,
and he says, "Groovy."
So the scene where the way it should have ended was the scene where Donnie falls, You think that he's dead. You don't see him again, right? For the remainder of the film, it's just Jamie. Jamie gets home after everything, doesn't know where Donnie's at. Screw it. And then this is where he puts it all together that his mom is actually, or his stepmom is actually Mary Shaw, right? And as he turns around and he sees her, right, and she looks at him, before we get that really cheesy face morph, because that was just like, whenever the head like pops out, like Mary Shaw's face popped out of, like I didn't like that. But right before that happens, boom, her head just guts, right? And from the corner of the room, the entrance of the room, it's Donnie with the shotgun. And he's like, doesn't this bitch ever die? And he's shaving. He's shaving with the shotgun in one hand, and he's like shaving. He's like, doesn't this bitch ever die? You know what I mean? Because he pieced it all together too. And he was like, oh shit, Donnie was a smarter detective than the film gave him credit for. And that's how they should have ended it. They both kill her. Boom. Like, then Jamie gets to stay alive for, I don't even know at what reason at this point. Like, he never even cried over his wife's death. I don't understand that. Did he know his wife was pregnant? Like, I don't know, but that's the way I would have ended it. Donnie Wahlberg was the star and didn't deserve to go out. Oh, and then Henry doesn't die. Okay, he gets out of the thing in time. His wife opens it and he survives. Henry doesn't die. I would have made that a thing. If I had my way of switching it up, Henry would stay alive.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
I love
that's
it.
how the movie would end.
So either scenario, I mean, as long as Donnie lives at the end, I'm fine with. I mean, I don't really have the detail by detail thing. For me, they'll have a cheesy ending to where it sets up a versus movie with Billy the Puppet versus Billy the Puppet. So that we can review another movie like that.
Billy versus Billy.
Billy versus Billy. Just another Freddy versus Jason.
So does anybody else have another way this should have ended before we move on to the next segment, or is there anything you want to throw in, or anything you would have changed?
Nope. All I had was Donnie survives.
Donnie survives.
Donnie survives.
The fresh cut.
I was gonna get into some of the IMDb reviews, right? But I came across some trivia for this film, and I just want to point out a few things that I thought were pretty cool. So, the whole at around 1 hour and 10 minutes during the climax, in the storage area with all 101 dolls, you can see Jigsaw's doll from the Saw. That's actually one of the trivia things. Films sitting on the floor, and Edgar Bergen's doll, Charlie McCarthy, on one of the shelves. The doll that Detective Lipton throws over his shoulder, in this scene, is a replica of ventriloquist Jimmy Nelson's doll, Danny O'Day. It says there are two different versions. Remember I told you that I remember clearly there are two different versions of the poem? Remember? So it turns out there are two different versions of the Mary Shaw poem. In the movie, the poem goes, beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. And if you see her in your dreams, be sure you never, ever scream. On the trailer, it was, beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. And if you see her, do not scream. She'll rip your tongue out at the seam. So I wasn't tripping. That's an actual thing. It says Billy was not the name of one of the dummies in the movie. Was not only the name of one of the dummies, but also the name of the puppet. Okay, in the Jigsaw movies. Okay, we know that. But okay, check this out. Leigh Whannell was so unhappy with the finished product due to studio interference that he decided to write all future scripts on spec as opposed to pitching an idea to a studio and then being paid to write the screenplay, as was the case with this film. It said the film was made into a haunted house at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights in 2007 in Florida, and due to the film's box office failure, tentative plans for a sequel were abandoned. And it says Donnie Wahlberg's character's name, Detective Lipton, has the same last name as his character in the HBO miniseries Band of Brothers, which was Lieutenant Lipton. So, you can tell they cared about Donnie Wahlberg a lot for this film. I'm sorry. I love Donnie. Thank you for being in this movie. Thank you for being just the best, Donnie Wahlberg. So before we Oh my gosh. Okay, whoa.
You said Lee Winnell goes by Spec as on a screenplay, right?
Yeah.
That's his name in Insidious.
Yeah. Specs
and I forgot the other guy's name.
This is crazy.
You can't find a one review?
Everybody seems to like this. Okay.
I mean, it wasn't that great of a movie. There has to be somebody that didn't like this movie.
Okay, let me see. Entertaining. Creepy Dolls Back. A fantastic watch. Fantastic. Not for people who get creeped out by dolls. Scary. Dread the Silence.
Here's a one. Another cartoonish horror film.
Dead Silence.
It is kind of small.
Did you read? You want to read that one? I don't.
No, I'm just looking at them.
Okay.
I'm seeing some ones.
I know Lay and James wouldn't let me down. Don't Scream. So the only 1 out of 10 that I found so far just says just another doll movie. Let me see. Creepy as hell. I'm getting a lot.
Sorry that I'm yawning, guys. I just been up a lot.
Okay, I saw that one. Okay, I'm gonna read that. Another cartoonish horror film. It's 1 out of 10. So this is written by Maciste _brother on January the 28th of 2008. The state of horror films keeps deteriorating with the release of Dead Silence, a super slick looking horror film which is as scary and deep as an episode of Scooby-Doo. The idea of ventriloquist and horror have already been used in previous films, so the concept is not that original, but the film's pursuit of a surprise ending, which wasn't really a surprise, is the one thing going for it, and it is so lame and improbable that whatever credibility the film has had before evaporated in an instant. The ending is truly one for the books. Who keeps making these god-awful horror films that look like a forgotten episode for a cheesy TV show on the CW? First of all,
so I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, so do I. Scooby-Doo was spot on.
Yeah, that was pretty accurate.
Hold on. What I don't agree with was the CW reference.
Oh, I love the CW. They make great work.
Y'all gotta stop bashing the CW. There are some bad shows on there, but
I mean, but what are we comparing it to? Are we comparing it to the best episode of Supernatural?
But I'm not gonna lie, I do agree, because I agree when they said the ending, which wasn't really a surprise. It's so lame and improbable.
This is something that I actually argued with myself about. I was like, it was kind of obvious that she was like kind of being like, and the only reason you went down this road is it's about a puppet, you know, ventriloquists put their hands up people's back. The way she was so close to the father, like anytime that they spoke, it like kind of made me think that she was controlling. And then obviously the father looked like he was dead. So how do you drop hints in a movie that aren't super obvious, but also somewhat obvious, so the whole person by the end of the movie is like, oh, I didn't see that at all coming? Or do you want to be the opposite person? It's like, I knew it from the beginning. I knew she was a part of it. Like, which one are you aiming for? And how do you find a good balance in between both of those? And I don't know. That's what I agreed with myself about, because I was like, it looked pretty obvious that she was controlling the guy somehow. But how do you do the opposite, to where you don't, how you drop hints that it could be her, but not make it so obvious? I don't know, man. I'm not a movie director. I don't know. You can finish, Fanny. I quit.
I don't disagree. I'm reading a lot of these reviews. A lot of them,
broke him. Good read.
A lot of them, I just don't even want to argue with these people. Like, for example, one of them is, "Are you kidding me?" Exclamation, question mark, exclamation, exclamation, question mark. And just the first thing sounds, first, let me begin by saying this. If you go see this movie in hopes to be scared, don't waste your time. There were little kids in the movie that were laughing when they were supposed to be scared. That's stupid as fuck to say in a review. I'm sorry, that just sounds dumb. Like, you go see a horror movie and a little kid's laughing, that means it's not scary. It just means the kid doesn't find it scary, dumbass. Like what? Like a kid laughing in a there's sadistic kids. You ever hear child serial killers? They exist. All right, so maybe they found fun in that. That's just dumb.
Children of the Corn.
Awful bare bones piece of junk. They actually say this movie is a terrible knockoff of Darkness Falls. No, it isn't. Darkness Falls is about the Tooth Fairy. There's a big difference. But Darkness Falls is also the movie I was going to choose before Dead Silence. Darkness Falls was the movie that I still want to. I have. That one has a special place in my heart too. Then not a movie I would personally suggest even as a rental.
What?
Okay, hold the fuck on. Okay, no. Now I got a problem. We got it. I'm sorry. This person made it in the comments, said some stupid shit, and now I'm coming after them.
They always do.
Right, Forest Unknown.
All right.
Movie I would personally suggest even as a rental. I watch horror movies on a regular basis. I can't say I expect much from many of them, simply because many are built around old standards. Unfortunately, this film was entirely predictable with no chills and or thrills throughout the movie. There weren't even the cheap laughs of the ludicrous, just a slow meandering of poorly executed plot and a pretty boy. First of all, I get the pretty boy thing, poorly executed plot. But there were a lot of laughs with fucking Donnie Wahlberg. That was the hero of this fucking film. All right? Okay. The concept was there. When aren't creepy little dolls a little scary? But it failed in its attempts. Movies such as Dolls or Puppet Master succeeded in creating a more eerie atmosphere and a stronger background. Or Dead of Night, who utilized the more inmate qualities of what makes a ventriloquist dummy so strange and off-putting. Fuck this comment. Puppet Master is a piece of shit film. All right? I don't care what anybody says. That movie is more boring than staring at a stale bag of chips, hoping that it opens itself. So fuck you, Forest Unknown, for even saying Puppet Master succeeded in any way. No, it didn't. The movie drags. An hour and 30 minutes feels like 3 hours. Like, I'd rather watch
Thanksgiving,
bro, from the beginning to
Thanksgiving.
its full growth. Puppet Master was a piece of, and for you to say that movie succeeded in anything, and then say this movie, I wouldn't even personally suggest it even as a rental. There's no laughs. You didn't laugh at Donnie Wahlberg because obviously Donnie Wahlberg made this movie. He carried this film on his back, okay? And for you to even say the Puppet Master succeeded in being a movie? Forest Unknown, welcome to the fight list. I'm going to kick your ass.
Fight list.
Because that was the dumbest comment you could have made. I was already going to say, look, guys, I agree with some of these bad comments. I'm not even going to try to attack one. But when I read that they pointed out Puppet Master as a success, I can't do that. I'm not acting with that, man. Like, no.
I think my wife may have wrote that comment.
Go back to season 1 of our podcast. We reviewed Puppet Master. We sat through that. Okay, the puppets are cool looking, but it's not a movie that I would sit through again. At all.
No, Puppet Master is pretty terrible.
That's why you got to review part 2. Because you got bored of the first one.
There's like 9 or 10 movies.
Yeah. I think that's what the person was trying to refer to, because there's so many movies. So he was trying to, I don't know. Maybe he forgot to put that in that comment.
Wait, was the sequel? Is the sequel any good?
I don't remember. I'm just saying that Dead Silence has one movie and then Puppet Master had so many movies.
You want to find out? That's my next pick, Puppet Master 2.
There you go.
All right, guys.
Hey, part 2 is saving grace.
It's been great. I'm out. You don't need to deal with this shit anymore. Bye.
You gotta watch the one where the guy from the room comes out.
Tommy Wiseau's in one of them?
Greg Sestero. What? Greg Sestero?
Oh, his friend.
His friend. Yeah, he comes out in one of the Puppet Masters.
Okay, but yeah, guys, that's what Forest Unknown, you've officially been added to the fight list along with Mary Shaw. She can catch these hands. I'm tired of her killing the innocent. She killed Henry for no reason. I'll fight you, Mary Shaw. Okay?
Justice for Henry.
Justice for Henry and justice for Lipton, Detective Lipton. Justice for both.
Lipton Tea?
Lipton Tea.
How did that name not catch on? I love Lipton Tea, so I would have. I mean, it's because he wasn't. I don't know. Name wasn't thrown out there so many times.
Before I close this out, though, I just have to say, because the movie itself, it kind of pulled like a whole. We don't say her name around here, you know. And then the wife of Henry kept saying like, she's back, she's here, I can feel she's here, right? So my question here is like, how did she just form into a body?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was one of the big plot holes to me, was that she was inside that mansion with the father and had a whole body and all this stuff. And I don't know, it was weird. It was all weird.
Like, I don't even understand how that was. That like supposed to be like the younger version of herself? You know what I mean? This lady was how Mary Shaw looked when she was young.
It was the perfect puppet.
Yeah, the dad was one of the nastiest scenes in that film is when you see the oatmeal falling down into the pan. Oh
yeah.
No, for some reason I just hate that. I hate that scene so bad. But there you guys have it, guys. That was our review, our take on Dead Silence 2007. We hope y'all enjoyed Nick's new little segment that he came up with, how we would have ended it. There's a few things I want to do though. Before we close this out, guys, go subscribe to Shudder and go make yourself a profile on IMDb. And when y'all go to these places, like say you subscribe to Shudder, will y'all like comment on one of the videos? I only subscribed here because Friday the 14th podcast sent me. Or like when you get IMDb, just put like, oh, it was Friday the 14th podcast. We try to grab some sponsors up in this bit. And
it would be helpful.
We've been after you for a while, Shudder. So, just let
keep
that
on,
happen.
keep
Let
on.
that happen. Hold on.
What's going on?
Okay, well, I guess before we close it out, my pick for the next film, my next pick is since we're keeping it 2007, 1408, 2007, Dead Silence. I'll keep it 2007. Probably give one of the best horror movies in 2007, Paranormal Activity, which is on Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah.
Paranoid. Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. That came out in 2007.
Right?
Well, it came out in 2009, I think, but I think it was made in 2007
Oh, okay.
but it still counts.
Yeah, because it started off
It
as
still
a
counts.
right? Yeah.
Just so y'all know.
How does that still count?
Franco, thank you for that. I've seen every single one of these. They're actually working
Transformers.
on the next installment. Transformers was 2007, right?
Disturbia was also 2007, but it's not on Netflix, so I can't pick it.
Disturbia.
Disturbia is so good.
We need to pick Netflix movies. If not, then we all now can see it with links and all that. Let's start paying for stuff, but we need sponsorships to pay for stuff.
Then again,
Trick or Treat was also 2007.
You know what I mean? Maybe there's a new Shudder movie that came out and y'all want us to review it. We will. We won't hold back. If y'all want us to be mean, we'll be mean.
There's actually a new Shudder movie that me and Nick were talking about before the podcast called Host, and it's about it's like Unfriended, but Zoom.
Yeah. Have y'all watched it yet?
No, just me.
I want to.
I watched it.
You watched it?
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll watch sometime this weekend, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, there's also that new movie that came out called Spree with Joe Keery, the guy who plays Steve on Stranger Things. Have you seen the trailer of that?
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
An Uber driver who's a serial killer. It looks pretty crazy. I don't know.
And he's just like live streaming most of it.
Yes.
It was like Instagram or something like that.
There's a new movie with Goldust in it.
Oh shit! Shattered Dreams Productions.
Yeah. I forgot the movie's called though. But it's on Shudder already.
What movie?
I forgot what the movie's called, but it has a wrestler, Goldust, Dustin Rhodes.
Oh wow.
Goldust.
Cody Rhodes' brother.
Oh, I didn't even know Cody Rhodes had a brother.
What the hell? He's the one to know first.
You're the ones that introduced me to this world.
Irrelevant, damn. He's from the Attitude Era though.
But yeah, guys, thank you for joining the podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off first, and then we'll all do that. Is that cool with y'all? You got anything else to add before we do that?
No, just besides our normal sign off.
Sick. I'm sorry, that's super sick. What did you tell me? What you found in a little bit?
What? We don't say the name.
We don't say where we purchased them.
We don't say the name. He shall be mentioned.
Anyways, guys, before I end this, I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Those who joined live as well. Those of y'all who take the time to share our stuff, It means the world to us as well. The more support, the better. Those of y'all who have liked our page on Instagram or even liked our page on Facebook, that also means the world to us. We enjoy doing this, and we hope we get to do it a lot more. Always feel free to put in your 2 cents on what we should cover next or do a thing for. Shout out to the Irish. Y'all have been listening. It means the world to us. We don't know what we're doing right, but thank you. It means the world. And y'all can find me on Instagram at MannyFresh18. That's fresh with a PH because I got that PhD and keeping it fresh. And you can find me on Twitter at Prodigal116. Follow our Instagram, Friday the 14th Pod, and our Facebook, Friday the 14th Podcast. So thank you. I'm going to let the other guys sign out because they're sexier than me. Okay.
I've been Franco. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to everything he said. Friday the 14th, whatever, Facebook, Instagram. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Emo Soul Productions, where we're putting our live feed as well, along with the new show where we review shows with Nick and Andy. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Franco Emo Soul. Thanks.
My name is Mr. Fuentes. Thank you all for joining in today. You can find me on, I do music, I rap. You can find me on like Spotify, Apple Music, all streaming sites is Mr. Fuentes. And you could also catch me on all my social medias at Mr. Fuentes 361. And again, thank you all for joining up, and that's it.
All right. Again, thanks for listening once again. Follow us on the Friday 14th, like Franco and Manny said. You can follow me at NickAce2313 on Instagram and Twitter. Possibly more social medias in the future, maybe. But yeah, they just saw it. Always saw it.
Also, subscribe to Manny's YouTube channel at Fresh TV. He puts some dope content up there.
Fresh. Some fresh stuff.
Subscribe to Franco's and Nick's as well, and Mr. Fuentes.